Hi everyone, welcome to the new year 2022 and welcome to the first layout in the series of A Year with My Gnomies. This is my January layout and I am going to go ahead and put this one together for you. I am going to take a minute and I'm pretty much pre-cutting all the pieces for this one. I can't remember if I pre-cut all the pieces for the other layouts, not that important. I do have these two pieces, which are that kind of orange color on one side, and then that it's kind of a light blue. I don't know if I would call it teal. It's more of a bluish, but whatever, for the background. Now you can see, and in a lot of these videos, I am going to try to kind of hold that example that they have there up close because I am definitely going off of that quite a bit. The January page was probably the easiest one to come together. I can't remember 100% for sure, but I am going to run into some struggles along the way, but I will talk about those as we go along. But basically what I'm looking at here is I have that layout there and I'm going to go off of it as much as I can. I'm just making sure if you're following along with me, you may want to wait until I'm done to see where not to cut because there are plenty of places I probably should have waited and was a little more, aware of what I wanted to cut. But I am not one to really measure. I am not one to measure twice and cut once. I'm just one to kind of, yeah, whatever, cut it. And yeah, with this collection, if you want to follow it exactly like they have it, it's not so easy to do. But when I start to glue the pieces down, I'm just going to throw this out there real quick. I do put the measurements that I cut my papers to up on the screen. If you want it, they're all together. So first it'll be the left page paper measurements and then the right page. So, pause it, screenshot it, whatever you want to do. I did put them all up there at once because I just kind of threw them up there and it's just easier to do. Here was my first realization, I guess, that this was a little bit more to it than I had originally thought, because when I was putting the papers together and the cardstock pieces, these, whatever you call these, I know it's not cardstock, but whatever it is, the solid pack, I didn't take into consideration the fact that if you look there on the sample that's on the screen, they had this dark blue as a photo mat. So there is a lot of gutting that I'm going to end up doing, a lot of kind of tricky paperwork. This one, again, since it was my first layout, it was fine. It wasn't that big of a deal. So it does work out for January. And I really like the right-hand page, kind of how the two pages, it is a double page to me. It could be put together as two separate pages if you wanted. But I think I did every month except for one as a double page. I just really kind of wanted to follow along with what they had. That was my plan. And so I am going to quickly realize that it's not as easy as, I keep saying that, but you'll see what I mean. So anyways, I don't think that there's the measurements, by the way. So go ahead and screenshot there if you want to get the measurements for your, if you want to cut it and do it exactly like I'm doing it. The left page is first and then the right hand page. So again, there's the right hand page. Now, what am I trying to say? I really like how this one comes together. Possibly if I wanted to do this again, or if you really wanted to make it easier or even have more items left over to spread, I wouldn't even say no to buying like a second pattern paper pack. I think that it might have been a little easier had I done that, but I didn't, so I'm not going to cry over it. I'm glad that I didn't because I don't want a bunch of leftovers, and with the way that I did this, I'm not going to have a bunch of leftovers. But oh, and I forgot to put on the right hand side, I have one 4x4 photo and one 3x4. Now at this point, I am not going to add photos. I'm going to add photos as the year goes along. Like I mentioned in the intro video, they don't all have to be 2022 pictures because, like I mentioned, let me tell you real quick, that is a border die that I used to trim that paper down, by the way, and I will leave a link below to that. I believe that is a scrapbook.com one, and I love their border dies. So I won't necessarily have all the photos I need, you know, and some months I do add the word January to this one because if we do get snow, it's more than likely in January. But if not, then I will go back and find photos from a past year where it was January and we got photos. I guess I was thinking that it's, you know, sometimes I think last year we got snow in February, so I probably should have left January off, but I kind of like the way that it looked. So here is how I'm putting this together. And again, this left-hand page is pretty almost exactly like they have it. Let me actually look here. Sorry for the rustling noise, but I wanted to look. Okay, I do change it a little bit. That's right. So they have, if you have, actually it looks like I changed it more than I thought. So as far as the papers go, everything is set the way that they have it on their example. So these photo mats and that border, or not that border, the border strips as well. But also, what did I do for, oh, that striped strip? I didn't put a measurement for that one because it was just like a border strip on, same as the snowflake, I believe. Maybe the snowflake is a 6x6. I can't really remember. But, you know, the side with all of the cut aparts, there was the snowflake and that stripe strip. Instead of just putting the stripe strip down like it should be, I went ahead and I used the border die. So I didn't put exact measurements for like the sticker strips or the border strips. I just went ahead and used, because you can use a border punch, you can use a die, you could just leave it straight, whatever you wanted to do would work just fine. So now I forget again what I was saying. Oh, so the left-hand side, don't have the papers I have the papers exactly like it, but I do change the embellishments up quite a bit. Now this one I sort of drew, I wanted to kind of cut a little bit of that. I thought about, you know, cutting some of the words off the things that each page has the cut aparts from was they all had word stickers that you could cut apart. I love that because I used a lot of the word stickers in every month. And that just helped kind of fill in some areas. Now I'm starting this out here, and I did ink my edges all, by the way, with my gray close to my heart ink. I'm going to go ahead and glue this one down. Now this pattern paper here was one of the 6x6 pieces, which is why it is a 6x6 piece, pretty easy. But I'm going to pull that up, and I can't remember if I show it in the video, but I am going to pull up that that photo's 4x4. I'm going to add in a pink mat. I'm going to go find one of the solids paper that is kind of that bright pink. And the main reason I'm doing that is because on the left-hand page, you can see it has that pink journaling box, and I really wanted to pull that pink. Well, it does stand out actually quite a bit. And I do apologize, I didn't realize my camera was kind of more to the left-hand side. I do think I realized it before too long, hopefully anyway. But it's not going to be, I will be more in screen at a future point. I'm going to take a minute here, and I'm going to go ahead and, as much as I wanted to have the pages look just like the samples, one of the examples to start off here is the fact that I think they put a cut apart with a gnome in a car above this pink journaling box. And had I done that, I don't think I would have been able to use some of the paper, whether it was that pattern paper that's on there or something. So that is a good example. That's when I decided that, hey, the papers are the same. I'm not going to make myself feel like everything has to be exactly the same. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to try to keep the papers very, very similar to what they have. But for the rest of the layouts, I'm going to make the embellishments look better for a double page, you know, because right now they all have just single page layout examples. So I really wanted to have double pages. On all of my layouts, I believe all of them, if there's one along the way that I didn't do it, I will let you know, but pretty much on all of the layouts, I do take the gnome stickers and I pop them up with my thin, close to my heart foam adhesive, which is my favorite. It gives just enough of dimension to not be super bulky, but it still gives it some interest. Just so you know, if you wanted to go along, there's quite a few points where before I even start recording, I've taken my gnome stickers off or any other stickers that I think I want to pop up, and I go ahead and add the foam adhesive before I even start the layout or the video. Just so you guys know that, which basically means that there are, in almost all the layouts as well, I believe there are other elements that are popped up with foam stickers as well. So I am now working on this little cluster. I wanted to use all the stickers. I didn't see any point in not using all the stickers, minus the date ones, like the January ones. Like the words, sorry, excuse me. I mean the words January or the month words. But I really, with each set, try to use up all of the stickers. So I had the word fun up there. I did pop that up with some foam tape. I had this word snow day, which I went ahead and put down there. And there's like multiple titles on this layout, but I don't really care. I love how it kind of flows and goes together. Trying to look at my page to see what else. So here I am with adding this gnome here. And I know when I first started talking about this that, you know, if you didn't like Gnomies, you could probably still make this work, but I don't think you would like it as well. I think the papers are absolutely beautiful, and maybe you could, but you wouldn't have as much embellishments like the stickers, because a lot of them, you know, I think there's like 3 gnome stickers for each month. So, I mean, you could totally make it work on your own. Don't feel like you couldn't make it without the Gnomies, because, I mean, if you look, the pattern papers that I used, all of the pattern papers on here don't have gnomes. So you could totally leave the gnomes off and just use something separate. But if you wanted to follow the page examples like I'm trying to do, then yeah, there's a lot of months that use the gnome side. So here's where I have that dark pink up in the right hand corner and I have it on the left. And so I just decided, you know, I need to bring that pink in another spot. And all of the other photos had a colored photo mat. So I'm just going to take this one here and I cut this one down. And I actually believe this is 4 1/8 by 4 1/8, this photo mat. But you could do, that's just because I'm putting the photo mats. If you just did your photo without this mat here, then you could just cut it to 4 by 4. And I'm going to use my little, you know, my little guides here, and that way I can kind of cut it out of the middle of this paper. And I did pay attention to whatever layout I might use that on, what part of the layout that I could cut that out of and it wouldn't be in, which you will see in the future. And it looks like I don't even think I pulled up that white one. I think I just put this on top of it to make it easier. I didn't want to rip anything because, you know, I only had one of each. So also at the end of the very last 2 still shots, if you want to see, are 2 pictures of one of the monthly Perpetual calendar that I did, and the other one is of the Perpetual calendar and the whatever scraps that I have left over. And here I was kind of playing around because there was one sticker that had like a heart, that pink heart. And so I thought, just to kind of bring again that brighter pink over, I punched out just a little tiny heart from that dark pink pattern paper and added it to the left. And I think that I was planning on not doing a voiceover during this part, but oh well. So the last thing I'm going to add here, what is some of these are close to my heart if they still have these, which I don't know, they could be going pretty fast. I don't know if they started a new calendar, if they're online, grab them up if you like them. but they are little snowflake like confetti pieces. You can kind of see them better there. So I sprinkled those around the page all over the place. And also as well, I did add a lot of peel-offs to these layouts. So you can see in this photo here that's coming up of all the full layouts, you can see all the different places that I added the peel-offs. In some of the videos I do show it. I think I got a bit last minute for this one. But here is the last of this layout, and I hope you guys are enjoying this series and gonna join me for the rest of the year. This is what I did for the Perpetual calendar, and next you will see the scraps that I have left over as well. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me, and I shall see you next month for February's layout. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.